Looking back, it's incredible how one moment can crystallize everything you thought you knew about a person and about your life and just shatter it, like a single, sharp crack that reveals the rot underneath. For me, that moment came wrapped up in the sleek, ridiculous form of a luxury car. My name is Alex. I'm in my mid-30s, and I run a small consulting business. It's not flashy, but it's mine. I built it from the ground up through hard work, long hours, and being smart with money. I'm not rich by any stretch, but I'm comfortable. I can handle my bills, save for the future, and enjoy life without needing constant external validation in the form of expensive toys. I guess that's where the fundamental disconnect started with Sarah. Sarah, we've been together for about 2 years. On the surface, she was great. Beautiful, charming, moved in circles that, frankly, were a bit more socially aspirational than mine. She worked in high-end real estate, where image seemed to be everything. At first, I admired her drive, her focus on presenting a polished front. I genuinely enjoyed spending time with her, or, at least, the version of her I thought I knew. There were little things, of course. Her constant need for the newest phone, the must-have shoes, the way she talked about people in terms of their wealth or status. I chalked it up to her job, her environment. I told myself everyone has their quirks. About 3 weeks ago, we were having a serious talk. We'd been together long enough, and the conversation naturally turned to what's next. Moving in together, maybe building a more permanent future. I was ready to talk practicalities, finding a place that worked for both of us, discussing shared responsibilities, merging our lives. I was excited about the potential, about building something real together. That's when she dropped it. Not as a question, but as a statement of fact, a prerequisite. So, about us moving forward, she started, her voice smooth, but with an underlying tension I hadn't heard before. To really make this work for our future, I need a car that reflects where we're going. A BMW X5. Like the newest model. My brain stalled for a second. A new car? Okay. Maybe your current one was old. But that car? Those things start north of $60,000. Easily. Sarah, I said slowly, that's a really expensive car. Is your current one giving you problems? She waved a dismissive hand. It's not about problems, Alex. It's about image. About presenting ourselves correctly. For my job, especially. And for us. We can't pull up to client meetings or social events in just anything. This car is an investment in our combined brand. An investment? I felt my eyebrows rising. Sarah, that's more than a down payment on a house in some areas. That's my emergency fund built up over years. That's serious money. Money we could put toward a place together or even just invested. Her face hardened. The smooth facade cracked completely, revealing something cold and demanding underneath. You can afford it, Alex. Your business is doing well. If you really valued me, if you were serious about our future, you wouldn't hesitate. This is what I need. What we need. No, I said, my voice quiet but firm. That's not about us or our future. That's about you wanting an expensive car and expecting me to buy it. That's not love, Sarah. That's a transaction. And it's a ridiculous amount of money for a car, especially when you have a perfectly functional one. The air in the room grew thick with tension. Her eyes narrowed. So you're saying no? Yes, Sarah. I'm saying no. Demanding a $60,000 car as a condition for our relationship is insane. Then came the line I'll never forget. Delivered without a flicker of warmth or hesitation. Just cold, hard calculation. Fine, she said, her voice dripping with disdain. Buy me the BMW X5, Alex, or I'm walking away right now. I'll block you on everything. We're done. I stared at her, stunned. For a split second, I thought she had to be joking. But her expression was dead serious, almost smug, like she knew I would crumble, that the threat of losing her would make me pull out my wallet without a second thought. She expected me to beg, to plead, to promise her anything. But something just snapped inside me. Not in anger, but in a sudden, icy clarity. It wasn't just about the car. It was about control, about entitlement, about a fundamental difference in values, so vast it felt like looking across a canyon. This relationship wasn't built on mutual respect or genuine affection. It was built on her expectations of what I should provide, of what I should buy to prove my worth or love. Looking her dead in the eye, I said the words that sealed it. Okay then, Sarah, block me. Her perfectly coiffed eyebrows shot up. Her mouth fell open slightly. She was visibly, utterly shocked. What did you just say? She stammered. I said, okay, block me. I repeated, feeling a strange mix of calm and sorrow. If our relationship, if our future, hinges on me buying you a $60,000 car on demand, then it wasn't much of a relationship to begin with, was it? I turned and walked towards the door. I didn't look back, not even when I heard her sharp intake of breath or the start of what sounded like an angry retort. I just kept walking. My phone started buzzing before I even got to my car. Notification after notification. WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, her number. Sarah had been thorough. She wasn't kidding. Honestly, the first feeling that washed over me wasn't heartbreak. It was relief, like shedding a heavy coat I hadn't realized I was constantly wearing. A profound, quiet sense of being free. Yes, it stung. 2 years gone over a car, but mostly relief. The next few days were strangely peaceful. The constant, low-level anxiety I hadn't even recognized was gone. No need to filter conversations. No worrying about saying the wrong thing that didn't align with her carefully constructed image. No mental math about how much the next dinner or trip or gift was going to cost me. The immediate task was dealing with her stuff. She didn't live with me, but Sarah had accumulated a significant presence in my apartment. Drawers filled with her makeup I didn't even know the names of, a section of the closet taken over by her clothes, shoes piled neatly by the door. It was a physical manifestation of her presence, and packing it up felt like a necessary step in reclaiming my space, both literally and mentally. I got some large moving boxes and started sorting. It was like cataloging her priorities: designer labels, expensive cosmetics, things that looked beautiful but lacked any real meaning. There were hardly any books we'd read together, no silly souvenirs from trips, nothing that spoke of shared memories, only shared spending. As I packed, I thought about other times. The way she'd complain if the wine wasn't expensive enough, the eye roll she'd give if I suggested a low-key night instead of an expensive restaurant, the barely concealed disappointment when a gift wasn't a specific, high-end brand she'd hinted at or outright demanded. Once, early on, we were on vacation, one I paid for entirely, a really nice trip. She spent half the time stressed because the resort wasn't quite as exclusive as one her friend had stayed at, and she kept complaining about having to carry her own beach bag sometimes. It was little things, but they added up. The car demand wasn't an isolated incident. It was the logical, outrageous conclusion of a pattern that had been there all along. Packing the boxes just solidified it. About a week after the breakup, a mutual acquaintance mentioned that an old college friend of mine, Emily, was back in the city. Emily and I had drifted apart after graduation, but we'd always gotten along well. On a whim, I sent her a message. We met for coffee. It was easy, normal. We talked for hours about our careers, what we'd been up to, shared funny stories from college. There was no pretense, no need to impress. We laughed, really laughed a lot. No talk of aesthetics, investment pieces, or who was driving what kind of car. Just genuine conversation and connection. We met for dinner a few nights later. Same thing. It felt refreshing, like breathing clean air after being in a stuffy, overly perfumed room. We started seeing each other casually after that. It was early days, but it was just nice, grounded, sane. A stark, beautiful contrast to the drama I had just left behind. The peace lasted about 3 weeks. 3 weeks to the day, actually since Cargate. My phone, bless its suddenly busy heart, started lighting up from unknown numbers again. Then texts from a couple of mutual friends asking if I was okay and saying Sarah was really upset. Then the flood. Sarah herself unblocked me. Not to apologize, not to talk things through. No, she unblocked me to unleash a torrent of angry, accusatory texts. Alex, where have you been? Why haven't you called me? I unblocked you, duh. Don't you even care about me at all? I thought you'd be begging me to come back by now. Are you seriously going to let a silly car ruin us? My friend said you were a good guy, but you're just cruel. I can't believe you would just abandon me like this. You're a monster." The sheer, unadulterated entitlement was breathtaking. She genuinely, truly expected me to chase her, groveling, credit card in hand, after she issued the ultimatum and she blocked me first. It wasn't just audacious, it was delusional. I didn't reply to a single text. After about 20 more messages poured in over the next hour, I calmly opened her contact info and blocked her number again. Permanently this time. I was done, but she and her crew weren't finished. Since I'd blocked her main number, her best friend, Jessica, became the primary mouthpiece. Jessica started texting and calling from her own number, then from different numbers when I blocked hers. Jessica's texts were blunt, almost aggressive. "Alex, Sarah is devastated. You completely blindsided her. She was just testing you. You were supposed to fight for her. You're supposed to show her you love her with grand gestures, not just walk away." I decided to engage once, briefly, just to set the record straight, knowing it probably wouldn't matter. I replied to Jessica's text. Jessica, she gave me an ultimatum over a $60,000 car and then blocked me. I respected her decision. Blocked means blocked. Jessica immediately shot back. That wasn't respecting her decision. That was abandoning her. She thought you'd prove how much you loved her. Sarah's willing to talk now. You should buy her the car and apologize for making her feel unloved. The nerve. Apologize for not buying the car. It was mind-boggling. I didn't reply to that one. Then came her brother, Mark. I met Mark a few times. He seemed older, maybe late 30s, early 40s, with a bit of world-weary vibe. His approach was different. He called, and I answered curious. "Alex, hey, it's Mark, Sarah's brother." "Hey, Mark, what's up? Look, I heard things are messy. Sarah's pretty broken up about this." Yeah, well, I sighed. She gave me an ultimatum and blocked me. Not much else I could do. I know, he said, his tone surprisingly sympathetic, not accusatory like Jessica. Sarah can be a lot. Always has been. Look, I'm not trying to get in the middle, but she's not doing great. She's been having a rough time lately. And this just sent her over the edge. He paused and I waited. This felt different, like there was something under the surface. "Honestly, man," Mark continued, his voice lowering slightly, as if telling a secret. "That car thing, look, she was in a bad spot. Wrecked her old car a while back. Totaled it. Problem is, she let her insurance lapse a little because money was tighter than she let on. Couldn't get a new one financed on her own. Not the kind she felt she needed for her job. She was in a real bind. Saw you as the solution. Not an excuse, mind you. Just context. So that was it. The entitlement was real, but it was fueled by a hidden crisis. She was in a deep financial hole she expected me to pull her out of, using our relationship as the winch. It didn't make her actions okay, but explained the sudden, desperate intensity of the demand. She's always had a knack for getting herself into situations, Mark added, almost to himself. This car thing, it's tied to more than just wanting a status symbol. Just don't get dragged into her messes, Alex. She's my sister, but she can be toxic when she's cornered. Be careful. A subtle warning from her own brother. It told me a lot about Sarah's history and confirmed that her manipulative tendencies weren't new. I thanked Mark for the call, told him I hoped Sarah figured things out, but that my decision stood. He didn't argue, just sighed and hung up. I blocked his number too, figuring any further contact from her circle was just going to be more drama. I thought blocking them all would be the end of it. I was wrong. A few days after Mark's call, the situation escalated from personal harassment to something far more serious. Sarah, or her enablers, decided to go after my business. I started getting calls and emails from a couple of my long-standing clients. They were cautious, asking vague questions about my personal life, mentioning rumors they'd heard about me being unstable or having financial issues or being difficult to work with. Someone was deliberately trying to plant seeds of doubt with the people who paid my bills. Panic flared for a moment. My business is everything to me. I'd poured years of my life into building it. This was a direct attack on my livelihood. It was low, dirty, and it showed just how far Sarah was willing to go because she didn't get her way and because I hadn't played her game. I talked to Emily about it that night. She was furious on my behalf. That's a different level of messed up. Alex, she said, her eyes flashing with anger. Trying to damage your reputation professionally? That's unforgivable. Her support was exactly what I needed. She helped me think through how to handle the client queries calmly and professionally, reassuring them without getting into excessive personal detail. But it also solidified my resolve. Blocking them wasn't enough. They were actively trying to sabotage my life. I needed a more definitive way to shut this down and draw a hard line. The decision was made. Sarah's remaining belongings were still in boxes in my spare room. They were the last physical connection, the last potential excuse for her or her circle to contact me or show up. It was time for them to go definitively and publicly, at least within our small network. I went through the boxes one last time, double-checking I hadn't missed anything. Every last scarf, every single earring back, every forgotten lip gloss. I sealed the boxes neatly and labeled them. Then, I composed one final message. I sent it to Mark, since he was the last one I'd had a coherent conversation with and seemed the most likely to relay the information accurately, or at least relay it. My text was simple, polite, and left no room for negotiation. Mark, please inform Sarah that all her remaining belongings are packed and ready for pickup. They're in 4 large boxes. She can collect them from the doorstep of my apartment building at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Insert a date here, e.g., May 25th. I will leave them outside my apartment door at that exact time. I will not be present for the pickup. I have notified building security that she, and one other person if needed, is authorized for brief access only for this pickup during that specific time window. If the items are not collected by 11 a.m. on that day, they will be donated to charity. This is the only communication I will have on this matter. After sending that text, I immediately blocked Mark's number, and just for good measure, I blocked Jessica's number again and any other unknown number that had contacted me. The lines of communication were officially severed from my end. The date for the pickup was set for the upcoming Saturday. I half expected a circus, honestly. Part of me was tempted to set up a camera just for the sheer, dark entertainment of seeing who showed up and what kind of performance they put on. But the primary goal wasn't entertainment. It was about boundaries. Sarah had demanded to be out over a car. Fine, stay out. But she didn't get to keep her stuff at my place indefinitely, and she certainly didn't get to harass me or try to ruin my business without consequences. This was about methodically closing every door she tried to leave ajar. Saturday morning arrived. As planned, precisely at 10 a.m., I carried the 4 large, neatly labeled boxes outside my apartment door and placed them just outside the frame, visible but not obstructing the hallway. I took a deep breath, feeling a sense of finality. Then, I grabbed my bag and headed out, spending the morning with Emily, keeping my phone on silent. I had asked my neighbor, Mrs. Rodriguez, an elderly lady who lived across the hall and missed absolutely nothing, to keep an eye out. She's sharp as a tack and knows everyone's business, usually in a kind but very observant way. I told her generally about a messy breakup and needing an ex's things picked up, asking her to just let me know if the boxes were collected and if there was any major fuss. Around 11:30 a.m., I got a text from Mrs. Rodriguez. Boxes gone, Alex. Quite the show. 3 of them. 1 older, 2 younger. Lots of huffing and puffing. Looked very unhappy. 1 kept loudly talking on her phone. Glad you weren't here. Translation: Sarah, Jessica, and likely Mark. Predictable. Mrs. Rodriguez's description painted a vivid picture of their dramatic arrival and departure. A small victory, knowing I wasn't there to witness it or get drawn into anything. The main event, however, happened later that evening. Sarah, being the self-proclaimed influencer, her term, not mine, decided to take her narrative to her platform. She posted a tearful, heavily filtered video across her social media. The gist was predictable. Her cruel, narcissistic ex, me, implied strongly enough that mutuals would know exactly who had emotionally abused her for months. And then, after she finally found the strength to leave him, he vindicatively threw all her cherished belongings out like trash and was now trying to ruin her reputation because she wouldn't bow to his financial control. She even included a picture of the boxes sitting outside my door, clearly snapped during the pickup, as proof of my heartlessness. She conveniently left out the $60,000 car demand, the ultimatum, her blocking me first, and the fact that she was given a specific window to collect her things. Her few hundred followers ate it up initially. "Lots of you go, girl, and he's trash," comments flooded her post. Some of her more zealous followers even started trying to find my social media profiles to send me hate messages. Lovely. I saw it Saturday night and was livid. The lies, the manipulation, the sheer audacity of twisting the story so completely. Emily was with me and saw how angry I was. "Okay," she said calmly. "Deep breaths. You have to respond. But not like this. You have the facts. You have the proof. Sleep on it and post tomorrow when you're clear-headed. Facts, not feelings." She was right. Sunday morning, with a clear head, I made a decision. I rarely posted anything personal on my own Instagram, which was mostly followed by genuine friends and family and some professional contacts. But it was the most effective way to set the record straight within my actual network and counter her lies publicly. My post was simple, direct, and weaponized the truth. I posted a carousel of images. Image 1, a screenshot of Sarah's original text message. "Buy me the BMW X5, Alex, or I'm walking away right now. I'll block you on everything. We're done." Image 2, a screenshot of the phone notification. "Sarah blocked you on WhatsApp." Image 3, a screenshot of my final polite text message to Mark, clearly stating the pickup date, time, location, and donation deadline. My caption was brief and purely factual, regarding recent online accusations and a certain dramatic video. I didn't tag Sarah. I didn't use any emotional language. Just the sequence of events, supported by irrefutable evidence. The receipts. By Sunday afternoon, the fallout within our mutual social circle was significant. People who had seen her tearful video saw my post and were blindsided by the context. The screenshots didn't lie. Several mutual acquaintances who had initially offered Sarah sympathy publicly started deleting their supportive comments on her post or privately reached out to me expressing shock. Jessica reportedly went into damage control, trying to spin the text as taken out of context. "But how do you take "buy me this $60,000 car or I'm blocking you" out of context? Sarah's tearful victim narrative suddenly looked like a calculated, manipulative performance. Her comment section turned from sympathetic to questioning, with people directly asking her about the $60,000 car demand. Over the next couple of days, the discussion spread. Someone who knew us both, likely fueled by a mix of drama and disbelief, took my screenshots and stitched them together with parts of Sarah's video into a TikTok. By Tuesday, that TikTok was going minorly viral within our local community, reaching far beyond her small follower count and my own network. It was absolutely brutal for Sarah's carefully curated image. She was publicly exposed not just as materialistic, but as deeply manipulative and entitled. The comment sections on that video were savage. Last I heard through the grapevine, Sarah deleted her original video and then temporarily deactivated her entire Instagram account under the weight of the backlash. What happened to Sarah? From what I've pieced together, her meltdown was epic. She genuinely seemed shocked that her manipulation didn't work and that I wouldn't come crawling back. Her enablers, Jessica and Mark, are still trying to make excuses for her, blaming me for not understanding her needs or for publicly shaming her, but their influence has waned. Sarah is still single, and apparently, word about her expensive tastes and ultimatum tactics has made dating locally challenging. Without my financial support for her lifestyle and her influencer money drying up after a public embarrassment, she reportedly had to get a full-time retail job. The irony is not lost on me. As for me, Emily and I are doing great. Things are progressing naturally, healthfully. It's the most mature, grounded relationship I've ever had. We're actually planning a real trip together, one focused on experiences and exploration, not luxury goods or maintaining an image. The peace of mind, the absence of constant calculation and expectation, is priceless. The real satisfaction in all of this wasn't about crushing Sarah or enacting some grand revenge. It was about standing up for myself, refusing to be manipulated and used, drawing a firm boundary, and watching the natural, logical consequences of her entitled and dishonest actions unfold when exposed to the light of day. It wasn't a perfect victory, of course. One of my clients, despite seeing the clear evidence, decided to pull their business anyway, citing the public drama as a reason they preferred not to be associated with. It stung, a reminder that even when you're in the right, standing up for yourself can have costs. And just the other day, I was driving downtown and saw a shiny new black BMW X5 pull up at a light. Behind the wheel was a woman who looked vaguely familiar, dressed impeccably. She wasn't Sarah, but for a second, it was like seeing a ghost, a reminder of the absurd object that triggered this whole mess. The demanded car exists, just not with her and not paid for by me. She demanded a $60,000 car as proof of love. She got blocked. Her belongings returned on a deadline, her manipulation exposed publicly, and her carefully constructed world rattled. She played a stupid game, expecting me to be the fool, and she won a stupid but fitting prize. I didn't beg, I didn't chase. I just moved on, with facts and clear boundaries. And that, my friends, was justice served. Cold, factual, and utterly devoid of any luxury vehicles. It cost me some stress and one client, a price I was willing to pay for my freedom and self-respect.